Hello, everyone. This is Eric L. Dunavant, the Mindset Disruption Strategist. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Redefining Success. Joining me today is Devin Johnson, the CEO and co-founder of Kennected, and what they are building at Kennected and the journey that they've been on and the trajectory that they've been on is something that you're going to want to stick around and just hear about. And this is a man that is doing some amazing things. I think at his age, just the lessons he's learned and the things he's been through, we have a ton to learn and then to leverage for ourselves from him and then through him. So, Devin, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, Eric. I appreciate it. I'd like to sprinkle some young wisdom out into the world today.
Well, I've got the gray hair going. So I don't know. Have you had any of those pop up yet?
I had one in my beard, but we got it out.
You got it out.
We got it out.
I love it. I love it. Hey, Devin, so this is a conversation among friends. So we're in the backyard. We're at the barbecue. Introduce yourself to my audience, to my friends that are here with us today.
Yeah. So my name is Devin Johnson, CEO, co-founder of a company called Kennected. We automate your lead generation through LinkedIn. As simple as that. I'm 25 years old, based out of Indianapolis, Indiana. I grew up in a small town 20 minutes outside of Indy called New Palestine. So born and raised here in Indiana. That's why I'm still here. People ask me that all the time. Growing this big tech company here in Indiana. I'm like, yes, I get it. So, I've been an entrepreneur since I was 15 years old. I actually started in sneakers. So anyone's a sneakerhead. I am a fellow sneakerhead and sneaker collector. But so the shoes have a huge demand in an underground market. And so Nikes, Jordans, Yeezys, anything that you could put on your feet, there's rarity and limited make and really rare models in the marketplace. And that's actually where I started. So I was faced with some adversity at a young age. My sister was diagnosed with a rare form of brain cancer, and that put my family in a really tough spot. My mom had to move into the hospital. My dad, about 2 weeks into it, unfortunately, stepped out from the household, and we didn't hear from him for over a year. My mom and dad was never married, but my dad was the type that ran from problems. We also found out that he had a heroin addiction at that time, and it was brutal. So with my mom living in the hospital, she simply broke it down to me. Hey, we don't have a lot of runway. You're going to have to move into what we call the Riley home. It's a homeless shelter for kids that are stuck in the hospital. And so I found an outlet with shoes, so sneakers, to actually help mom. And then it became a really profitable journey for me. There was some weeks in high school I was making $20,000, $30,000 in a week. Reselling huge box of shoes. I started on a scooter. So before I had my license, I would ride a scooter and I would stack up. I could get about 8 pairs and then hold the 8th with my chin. and I would ride a moped, right? So I'd ride a moped around, and then I got my license and I got a truck, and it all worked itself out. But yeah, I started with shoes, and shoes turned to a trade show. So you can actually still Google it. It's called the Indy All-Star Sneaker Expo. That was my big event. We had about 4,000 attendees, 120 vendors. There's still YouTube reviews about it and stuff. But so trade show, I learned, and I say I got my MBA in business in high school, right? So I learned how to build relationships. I learned how to market. I learned supply and demand. I learned all these different business terminologies that I was not aware of in high school. And now I'm 25. Now I know, looking back, what I was actually learning, but I just was making money at the time. Right. That also gets into one of my first life lessons is I was making money, right. At least what I thought was money. And I built an ego. Right. So we'll talk about this little dark side of business is you build ego as you get success. And one of the biggest lessons I've learned in the short span of running businesses and scaling businesses is leave the ego at the door. Everyone can help you and everyone can teach you something, right?
Yeah.
You got to show massive appreciation. So as I graduated high school.
Hey, Devin, this is awesome, but I got to ask a question because you're 15 years old.
That's right.
What do you attribute some of this to? I mean, so it's not your dad, it's not your mom. Where are you even getting these ideas that this is possible?
So my dad, he was an entrepreneur just illegally. So my dad is actually a massive drug dealer, cocaine and marijuana. So I'm not necessarily proud of this, but I have seen that side of the world. And it actually motivated me to, run away from it as fast as possible. So my dad did hustle. He was
Okay.
a mover and shaker. He was also a sneaker collector. That's how I knew about shoes and why I had so many shoes as a kid.
Okay.
But so it's in my blood. I applied the drive into legal business activities.
There you go. Okay. Okay. Well, I didn't want you were telling a great story, but it's like usually this doesn't grow out of just nothing. So I had to find out.
Yeah, yes. My dad was definitely a hustler. I had it in the DNA. And I'm talking past since my dad actually died when I was 21.
Oh,
So
sorry.
I buried my father. He ended up losing about everything he had and was down to his last few personal possessions and kind of rebounding. He went almost a year sober and then relapsed. When he relapsed, it killed him. So within 2 days of relapse, and he had an overdose, and it was fentanyl. So it was pretty brutal. It does motivate me, right? I have a lot of adversity I overcame young, but that's not the story I'm here to tell is why me. It's not where I started, but where I'm going, right?
Yeah.
And so everyone has their own stories. I don't compare mine to anyone else's, but the facts are the facts. And he really motivated me to start building a legacy at a young age because I was the only one in the family and in the position to actually be able to pay for the funeral. So I actually paid for the funeral too.
Wow.
He had nothing. He had no life insurance. He had no cash sitting around. He had nothing. I mean, that's like real pain. Like that's one of the darkest moments I can remember. Again, I'm young. Like I got a lot more life ahead of me, like where I'll probably feel some more pain.
Right.
But this very moment, my sister getting sick and then burying my father are definitely the two biggest, dark, painful situations.
Yeah. So you've got I'm so sorry. You've
No,
got
it's
the
all,
sneaker business.
that's right.
That's going well.
Mhm.
What's the next evolution of Devin? What's the next?
Yeah, so I'm an egotistical little shithead, 18 years old, right? I actually now my wife's like trying to humble me. I meet my now business partner. He starts leading me to faith, and I find God. He baptizes me in his bathroom. We flood his apartment, right? It's a crazy story. We absolutely flooded his apartment. We used every towel plus paper towels to clean it up.
That's awesome.
But all in that season, StockX came out and killed the resale of shoes.
Okay.
So the average resale, you could probably make 100, 120 bucks. So I just average it out. It went down to like 20. Because StockX put radical transparency in the marketplace.
Okay.
And told you what to pay for certain shoes.
Yeah.
But also let you buy them on the app. There was no the game is still alive. Like I actually have friends that are very successful doing this, making a couple $100,000 selling shoes a year. But it just was a very uphill battle, a lot of cash out, a lot of cash in, but the influx of profits were just slim, And so after getting baptized, after getting humbled a little bit, learning that I have an ego problem, learning that I didn't actually value relationships, I valued a transaction. Right. So people really struggle with that in business. They sit down young. They want to make the money. Totally get it. That was me. But a relationship goes so much further than a transaction. And a business partner taught me, make a sale, make a commission, make a friend, make a fortune. Cody taught me that at a young age. And he really showed me how to. Now, Cody, I got to bust his balls a little bit, but he could never get it across the line, but he would like get invited to the barbecue or get invited to like hang out with the family, but struggled to close. And I came in and was the hammer. He's actually sitting in the studio with me. He's laughing. So we found a yin to the yang, and I could close, hammer, get it done. And he taught me real relationships, and that's how we've built a what we now call Kennected. So we built an agency. We started with an agency called Mission to Market. So mission to grow the kingdom, but mission to market.
Yep.
Just about a year in, realized we hated service-based revenue.
Mm.
And I came up with Kennected, and that was in 2018. And then we've scaled it from there.
Wow. Wow.
That's
What's been the hard, I mean, it's been a quick rise.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's still 25. So you guys you've done a lot. What's been the biggest obstacle along the way of kind of getting this off the ground? Was it just you coming in and being the hammer, or what for you has been the obstacle here?
No, it's realizing very quickly that you're not in your core business. You're not in the software business at the scale we're at. You're in the people business. You're in the attract, retain, and develop business, right? If you're not like growing people, you're not growing a real business. I mean, yeah, there's some niches that necessarily isn't applicable, like raising a real estate fund. Like you can make billions of dollars a year with 5 people. Yeah. But most businesses, it takes an army to achieve what you're trying to achieve. And the toughest is all that every 2 months, it feels like looking in the mirror and challenging myself to think bigger and to bring better, sharper, and sustain the growth of our people. You know, after this hiring group, we'll be over 150 on staff.
Wow.
So how do I duplicate this crazy vision, and how do I keep everyone motivated in a clear, line of this is the vehicle I'm going to ride. It's called Kennected. It's a crazy awesome company, right? So definitely leveling up our people, but more so as the entrepreneur, leveling up myself to be the best version of me. Yeah. So I can lead from the front. It's actually core value number 1 at Kennected is lead from the front, right? So be willing to and/or have done the task that you're asking someone else to do. And I'm up there preaching vision, but I don't work on vision. What that makes zero sense. And then core value number 2 is radical transparency. So, I have a core set of values that I always have to keep reinventing myself as the leader of this, being self-aware of I need to grow in all areas at all the time. So,
let me ask you this question, Devin, because I mean, you're leading a company. Your age and your insight, I think, is going to give a lot of wisdom from this standpoint, especially when you kind of define the definition of success and the way that you're talking about your people and investing in your people. One of the things that I find is that in past generations, there seemed to kind of be this emphasis of profit over people, right? I mean, we're going to do whatever we can to put profitability to the bottom line, but I'm finding more and more entrepreneurs and business owners are getting really passionate about the fact that profit and people can go hand in hand, that those two things are not mutually exclusive. You can make a lot of profit and you can develop people. What are you seeing from a success definition from that standpoint, and how you guys are building Kennected on how that plays a role?
Yeah, absolutely. We define success as, we are all in this together and we're rising as one. I don't look at it as Devin gets and makes all of this money and thank you and under my thumb, right? In our internal org chart, I'm actually at the bottom and everyone else is above me because I am driving hard, but I'm doing it for them, right? And casting the vision very simply is I run these on every new hire session. So we hire every 2 months here. That's kind of the hiring cycle we're on. They come in and I say, listen, you got a copy of your comp plan. And then I make them write 100 materialistic or items or places or things they wish to desire that they have. Comp plan, 100 things. They try to get 100 things. Very few even get close. They sit down and say, listen, I'm fully aware that Kennected's a vehicle for you to get to an end destination. Yep. You don't work for me. You work for yourself and being the better version of yourself, right? And I reverse engineer how the Kennected compensation plan gets them to the next stage of life, right? And make them do vision boards or highly encourage it. I can't make anyone do anything. Highly encourage the vision board. And I'm always talking about, seeing yourself 6, 7, 8, 12 months down the road. Yeah. Right? So always being able to see further than you're just paycheck, paycheck, paycheck.
So you and I didn't talk about this beforehand, so I'm going to take a chance here. So I see the vision that you've got right now, kind of what's going on with Kennected. What's God pointing you towards the next 3 to 5 years? What's he got you seeing?
That's such a good question. So, helping over 1 million business owners, save time, simplify opportunity, because time is the only asset we can ever get back, right? So definitely hitting that stride. I do see in the next 3 to 5 years an exit along that timeline, but creating venture studios that focus on the 18 to 30-year-old tech entrepreneur.
Yep.
Teaching relationships over profit, teaching culture pillars, teaching core values, starting with why, and then letting them build their business. So I laid it out, very graphically. Actually, I want to build like $100 million facility, like the dream facility to show up and just build a business.
Yeah.
In Florida, probably like Bradenton, where there's
okay.
a lot of land available, close to Siesta Key, and just focus on getting them out of high school that have these crazy ideas and fostering them into believing in themselves. Because very few people, two things, very few people believe in themselves to the point where they feel worthy of success. If you can't feel worthy of changing the world, you'll never change the world.
Yeah.
Period. So if you don't feel worthy of the success, you will hit the limiter on what you do feel worthy of. So let's just use easy numbers. You feel like you're only worth $100,000. You may go on a run and make 3 million, but all of a sudden you're back to that 100,000. You're like, why?
Yeah.
You didn't feel worthy. You didn't level up the mindset. You didn't adapt, and there's levels, right?
Yeah.
So you have to feel worthy and have a clearer, bigger vision for yourself.
You have any children?
One.
Yep. How old?
8 months old.
8 months old. So so you've been a business owner, you've been a husband. What has becoming a father taught you about kind of not only maybe success, but just kind of as you look at the future? What are you learning about that right now? On your journey?
They're fulfilling, right? I'm in the crawling, saying the first word stage, like very fulfilling. We do daddy-daughter time every day for at least 30 minutes.
That's awesome.
And it is really opened my eyes to happiness truly is not associated even close to a dollar amount, right? So
say that again.
Yeah, happiness has nothing to do with money. Actually, happiness is relationships. I just summarize it as happiness is strong relationships, right? When you look at people that make 40 grand a year, but they're happy as hell, they live their best life.
Yeah.
You know why? Because they have the family reunions. They have children that love them. They enjoy every holiday. They have crazy things they do on Christmas. They go put candy canes all over neighbors' houses. Like relationships truly is happiness. Now, money helps, right? Yep. Money will expand, the possibilities of what you can do together with your relationships, but is not happiness, right? So being a father has really opened that up even further. Like I was self-aware of it, but being a father, like the phone, upstairs and me playing with her for 30 minutes is so fulfilling. Like I get excited about it.
Yeah.
Right. And so, I can only imagine when she's 12 or 13 and she's like, come on, Dad, let's go to the car show, or Dad, let's go. I cannot wait. I really can't wait.
Yeah. Every day I've told parents over and over again that my oldest is 21. My youngest will make 16 this summer. Every day after about 3 months is magical for a dad, if you'll embrace it. And it sounds like you're on that journey to embracing it.
It took me, I'm not even going to lie. It took me 6.5 months probably to start embracing it.
Yeah.
But now that I am, it's such a game changer in happiness for me.
Oh, that's awesome.
And motivation too.
Hey, this may be a hard question to answer because just where you are and family's young, but in 3 generations, what do you hope your great-grandchildren are saying about you?
Yeah, that I was a high energy, didn't know what to do with his hands, over giving, crazy guy that changed everyone's mindsets and, built thousands and thousands of entrepreneurs in his lifetime.
I love that. I love that.
I just, if you actually know me and see me come in every single morning, you'd be like, this guy like has to be on some sort of substance, legal or illegal. And it's really not. It's like, I take care. So I believe this is my theory about me.
Yeah.
God comes first. I come second. Business comes third, or family comes third. Business comes fourth.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I have my priorities straight, right?
Yeah. It's a formula that works that most people are reluctant to embrace.
Yeah. People can't understand that. Listen, we all have 24 hours, right?
Yeah.
Like the same problem's probably going to exist tomorrow. Cut it off. Deal with it tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean, just the reality of I gotta work my soul away, growing 24/7. Like, no, like, dude, I want my 7.5, 8 hours of sleep every day.
Yeah.
I want to work out. I'll deal with the business when I deal with the business.
That's right.
Don't get me wrong. I still have my 12, 13-hour days every day, but I'm up at 4:30 every day.
It's a club to be in.
That's right. That's right.
That's the club to be in. Hey, Devin, I know you've got a tight schedule. Is there anything we missed that you didn't get to share that you want to make sure the audience hears?
Yeah, I'll just put emphasis. I mean, I don't care what business you're in or struggle that you're in. Guys, you can reverse engineer any rut that you are in. So you can vision yourself in a bigger, badder version. There are steps to get out of, and I bet you're tied to an insecurity or worthiness issue if you're stuck in a business problem right now.
Yeah.
You don't feel worthy of the next relationship. You don't feel worthy of the next handshake or the next $1 million. And therefore you're hitting roadblock after roadblock, and actually maybe deeper than that with an insecurity tied to childhood trauma or a deeper issue. And you have to look in the mirror. No one can get you through that besides you. And if you be honest with yourself, then you could be reverse engineering the business issue. There's no business problem I can't figure out. Period. And I strongly believe that. I'll figure it out. I'm one phone call away from anyone to be able to help me with my problem.
Yeah. So
if I'm hitting roadblock after roadblock, I go back to me, my dials. Where am I off? Right? Do I feel insecure about something? If I've been eating like shit, am I not sleeping?
Yeah.
Am I working too much? Right? It's all you. It's all your mind, right? Get your mind right. Get your money right. That's what I say all the time.
So you've got to love yourself enough to take the time to go do the work.
That's right. That's right.
Because it doesn't come on the 15-minute commute to work. You don't solve that problem there.
No, not even a 45-minute commute.
Not even a 45-minute commute. Devin, if somebody's been listening to the show is like, hey, this guy's awesome. I want to kind of keep up with what he's got going on and what's happening. What's the best way to kind of keep in touch with you?
Yeah. So Instagram, just Devin, Devin, Allen, Allen, Johnson, Johnson, all one word, no underscores. I have probably 15 fake profiles out of me right now. I'm the one that has around 70,000 followers. Okay. So lots of fake profiles right now. And then also just LinkedIn. If you type in Devin Johnson, it'll probably be the first or second one that pops up.
Yeah. I love the stuff that I'm not following you on Instagram, but I love the stuff I'm seeing you do on LinkedIn. So at least go give that a follow. Devin, thank you so much for being with us today. I can't tell you how much I just appreciate your wisdom and your insights and your passion for people and your passion for yourself, because then that helps other people. So thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it, Eric.
Yeah. Thank you everyone for joining us for this episode of Redefining Success. We'll see you again next week. God bless you.